Good morning, welcome to Supercars of London, welcome to Aston Martin Lagonda at Gaydon. Behind me is a very stunning silver Aston Martin DB11. And I am here starting this video incredibly early for two reasons. One of those reasons is the last time that I drove the Aston Martin DB11, I was infatuated with just how efficient this 5.2 litre V12 twin turbo engine is from Aston Martin in this car. Aston Martins of old have been quite notorious at pretty awful fuel economy, but this car has amazed me over the time that I spent with it at the tail end of 2016. So since my first drive in the Aston Martin DB11, Aston Martin themselves have challenged me to just see how far I can get on one continuous drive up north to Scotland. The second reason that I'm doing this video is because I've always wanted to discover the North Coast 500, which is essentially an entire lap around the north coast of Scotland, as the name would suggest. So the first video is going to be a challenge of whether I can drive 484 miles from Gaydon to Inverness on one tank of fuel. Aston Martin have done quite extensive research and calculated that I will be able to get around 490 miles of fuel out of a full tank, but then it will be down to my driving style and technique as to whether I can make it to Inverness on the one tank of fuel. Then once we are up in the northern part of Scotland, the following day I'm going to be taking this car and exploring the North Coast 500, and maybe I will see how bad it is on MPG. My hand's getting freezing, so I'm going to jump in this car. Let's get on the way and get this challenge underway. I'll explain a lot more as we go and keep you guys up to date with how we are getting on. So with all that being said, let's start this V12 up and get a move on. We have just left the Aston Martin gates. Alex is joining us on this adventure. He's going to be helping out with the video and photography. As always, we are kitted out with some Red Bulls, which are very kindly supplied by Aston Martin, and I'm sure they get a pretty good deal with Red Bull at the moment. Now, this morning has been spent talking to an Aston Martin engineer who is specifically specialising in optimising the fuel efficiency out of the brand new 5.2 litre V12 engine. So over the next 8 hours or so, I'm going to try and condense this drive into the most exciting, informative and hopefully interesting video as best as possible. And by the looks of the weather, I think we're going to be quite lucky in terms of the sun is just starting to peek out. The tarmac will hopefully dry, meaning we'll get less drag on these winter tyres, meaning we'll be gliding through the air and across the tarmac much more efficiently. We've sat in this traffic for a long time, and this element to fuel efficiency is where I become a little bit stuck. Do I have start, stop, off? Because the engine's cutting out, which is fine, but it's then restarting back up because I'm sat here stationary for so long, it's restarting the car and using fuel to start the engine. So much so that our range has dropped from 620 miles, which was where we joined the traffic, to 428 now.
And we've gone 2 miles?
We've gone 2 miles, and I think we've still got probably 3 or 4 miles to go. This has delayed us by about 45 minutes so far.
Taking me over, burned out, now you're taking me under, taking me under, taking me under, 'cause you found
You may be asking yourself, why am I doing such a long, potentially boring drive, especially with a fuel efficiency challenge attached to it? Well, the reward is that apparently the driving roads around Inverness on the south bit of the North Coast 500 are incredible. So having the opportunity of driving the DB11 up there, arguably the perfect car to drive such a long distance, this is the perfect luxury GT car, to then be able to really put it through its paces on some of the best driving roads that the UK have to offer. But I want to take this opportunity to try and relay as much information as possible from the Aston Martin specialist engineer, because it was so interesting, and now having spoken to him, it all kind of makes common sense. But basically, there's the Red Bull. Already? You flaking already? What the engineer was telling me is, to get the best fuel efficiency out of this engine, I need to treat it as a naturally aspirated engine. So I need to keep the revs as low as possible out of the turbo range. And he was explaining that even though turbocharged cars are more fuel efficient, keeping the car in a natural aspirated bit of the engine, which is the lowest form, is actually where it's at its most efficient. The turbos are bolted onto a downsized engine. The downsized engine is where the fuel efficiency comes from, but the turbos are then added to supplement the performance. So it all started to turn my cogs in my brain, and it all started to make common sense. But to begin with, I was like, so let me get this straight. The more fuel efficient turbocharged engines, to get the best out of them, you need to make them naturally aspirated, which just at the start confused me a little bit.
Yeah, because I think you have to think of it as two different things. Like, they had the old 6.2 litre engine, which could put out all the power they needed, but it was always putting out that power.
Yeah.
Whereas you downsize it, you can have a bit more MPG, and then when the turbos kick in, then you get more power.
Exactly.
As well.
Aston Martin were basically saying to treat it as two different engines. So the turbos are for the performance, and when you start using 700 Nm of torque, when you start using all 600 brake horsepower of the engine, of course you're going to be using a lot of fuel. You're going to be getting through, which hopefully tomorrow on the Scottish Highland roads we're going to be able to do.
It's still a V12 engine.
Exactly, but for this purposeful video of doing fuel economy, fuel efficiency, our range is already saying 571 miles, so we've massively increased it. We're sort of tickling around the late 30s on the MPG, so we're going very, very strong, because having spoken to the engineer, I know that there are different sort of techniques that we can use to get the best out of the engine. Super quick update, I overtook a lorry in neutral.
Do you think about me? Do you think about me? Do you think about me?
We are 108 miles, Sat-nav was saying 108 miles to Inverness, and we've hit single track dual carriageway, meaning if we come across a traffic jam, we're screwed. If we come across a tractor, we're screwed. If we come across anything slow moving, like this lorry here that's going past now, 1, 2, 3, little gap, truck, car, if we get like that, then the slower we're going to go, the lower the gears that we're going to have to use to pull this car along, meaning the worst fuel economy. So we've got 107 miles to go, but 193 in the range. So I'm confident now that we're slowly ticking over from 100 into double figures, that we're going to get to Inverness comfortably from the 85 litre tank in the Aston Martin.
Do you think about me? Do you think about me? Do you think about me?
3.6 miles. Get the light on. Get the light on. This is ridiculous. Because now I'm trying to press buttons so I can get some range, but it's not telling me any range now. The last number I saw was 25. And it's now just got a red fuel sign with a picture of the DB11. We are 500 yards away from our hotel.
We've made it.
We have made it on 1 tank of fuel, no stopping. Where are we turning? I can't run out of fuel now.
Next right.
Next right. We have made it to Conti, I think. And there's a petrol station right here. How funny is that?
We would have been saved after all.
Well, at least we know we don't have to go far to get fuel in the morning, because I'll be completely honest. Oh no, shit. Wrong way. It just said the hotel second right.
To turn right.
Okay. This one, right? This is second right. Please.
Oh no, it's the next one.
Are you being serious?
Yeah. It's the next one. I just saw the sign.
Prepare to turn left.
It would not be like a proper challenge video if. So the fuel economy, incredible. Sat-nav accuracy, just slightly off.
I think it's because we had the postcode rather than the...
Okay. In here?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I've seen the sign. Oh my god, this is like the biggest relief ever. We have made it to our hotel just north of Inverness in the Aston Martin DB11. Shush! How do we cancel that?
Please make a U-turn.
There we go. Silence. We have made it on red fuel. Aston Martin said that it was going to be close. I was relatively comfortable and thought that we were going to do it, so I would kind of like squeeze the throttle a little bit. Was averaging between 65 and 75, and this is like the longest driveway in the world.
Uphill.
I've got no read left on the fuel, by the way, on the left. I've got no fuel on my fuel gauge. If you can zoom in and get that, it's here.
Yeah.
You getting it?
Yeah.
This is the longest driveway. If we actually get up here, we might not be able to get back down. Where's this hotel?
God, it's hard to see the focus on the screen shaking.
A quarter of a mile. I just got a sign for the hotel. A quarter of a mile more up this driveway.
Through these perilous woods.
Well, okay, let's just go and have a look at what. So we averaged 31.3 mpg, 495 miles. So it wasn't 480, maybe it was 484 to Inverness. 495 miles, and it's saying 11 hours and 27, but this is from start. So this is when Aston Martin started the car in the morning to prepare it for our drive. We left at 9:30, was that correct?
About that.
Around 9:30, and we've made it at 7:30. 10 hours.
Woo!
10 hours late? Yeah, 10 hours, and we're here. Oh my god.
We have made it.
We've made it, but is that the entrance, do you reckon? It literally feels like we're in some sort of haunted woods, but we've made it. The car is behind us. Alex is shining his iPhone at me so that we can get light. It is pitch black. We have made it to just north of Inverness. The Aston Martin DB11, as Alex said, it was effortless and just an incredible drive up. It was long, 10 hours on the road, but we made it on 1 tank of fuel. And now the reward can begin. We're gonna have dinner, we're gonna rest up, and then tomorrow it is a bright and early start to find some amazing scenic roads up here in the Scottish Highlands. We've got the Aston Martin DB11. We're gonna fill that car up because that petrol station is just down the road, if we make it down to the end of the road. And tomorrow we're gonna try and make the best video we can possibly make with our camera equipment. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching, thank you for supporting. supporting, and thank you to Aston Martin for allowing us to do such a stupid challenge. But for now, it is a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you for the next installment of this Aston Martin DB11 tour. Cheers, guys.